Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So just when you thought Donald Trump could not continue surging any more than he already has, what does he do? He surges more. And this recent poll came out of Iowa that is probably the most important poll of this election cycle, given its track record and given how accurate it's been over the years. It is called the gold standard. J. Ann Selzer runs the poll, the Des Moines Register poll, whatever you want to call it. It is extremely accurate. It hits the bullseye every single time that the poll is usually conducted, at least in terms of the final poll. It is a very, very good indicator for how things are going. And we only have 35 days or so until the Iowa caucuses convene and we get our first results of the 2024 presidential election. And Donald Trump is surging. You have all these other candidates dropping out from October, like Tim Scott was polling respectably well. Mike Pence was in there polling at some margin. And what happens? Donald Trump was the biggest beneficiary of everything that changed from October 26 until now. We are currently in December. This poll was taken after the Kim Reynolds endorsement, after the Newsom debate. We're going to cover all of this and what it really means because Ron DeSantis and his campaign, they're done. It's over. They need to give up the pipe dream. But we can wait another month and see the results just to show how the polls are not all fake and how Donald Trump really is still that guy that a majority of Republicans want, if not a supermajority, to still be the nominee. But nevertheless, we'll dive into this. But first, I have to tell you guys about our good friends over at the Patriot Gold Group, because gold soared past $2,000 an ounce. Wars overseas and rate cuts on the table are fueling its meteoric rise. Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan and Larry Fink of BlackRock have pointed out similarities to the 1970s, back when we had the Iran hostage crisis, war in the Middle East, and cities in disarray and stagflation. Gold went from $158 an ounce in 74 to $850 in 1980. Meanwhile, our debt is skyrocketing, and there's a direct correlation to national debt and price of gold. In 2010, our debt was $13 trillion, gold $1,000 an ounce. Now our debt's $33 trillion, gold is $2,000 an ounce. Trump himself warned the US dollar no longer being the world standard will be our greatest defeat in 200 years. So call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention Red Eagle Politics and you'll always get best-in-class service from Patriots Protecting Patriots. They're Consumer Affairs top-rated gold IRA dealers 7 years in a row, and they have the no-fee-for-life IRA where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible on qualifying rollovers. So call 888-857-8696 and get your free investor guide today, or visit the link in the description down below. Again, 888-857-8696. Oh boy, this is not good news for Ron DeSantis. It's not good news for Nikki Haley. It's definitely not good news for Chris Christie. But this is very telling because Trump is surging. All these other candidates have basically been living in Iowa, or they've been putting a lot of resources in Iowa. Ron DeSantis, if he's really to even be remotely competitive nationally, he should probably be polling, maybe not 30 points below Donald Trump. In fact, he's polling 32 points below in this poll, and this poll's been one of his more favorable pollsters in Iowa. I mean, the last poll had him down just 27. Some of these other polls had him down in the mid-30s, but it doesn't matter because as the days go by, Donald Trump is surging, and this shows it. It really does. This poll has a pinpoint accuracy, and that's the way it is. And you could look at the history of this poll. 2016 was one of the only polls to show Trump winning Iowa by, not just a point or two. It showed him up by 7. He won it by 9. 2016, they nailed the Senate race. They nailed the 2020 Democrat primary. They nailed the 2020 presidential race, the 2020 Senate race. They nailed 2022. A lot of pollsters out there vastly overestimated Republicans, but they just nailed the margins. And what does it show? It shows that they are an accurate pollster overall. And it shows that Ron DeSantis, not only is he not moving the needle, he's actually losing ground. And even if you want to say, well, technically he gained because all these other people dropped out and there's fewer undecideds, well, Donald Trump gained almost 3 times as much as Ron DeSantis has gained since the end of October. And that's with DeSantis getting the endorsement of the governor. They said that was a game changer. Yeah, no, because he lost ground over the time span. They said, oh, this one pastor in Iowa endorsing him that's always endorsed whoever loses the national primary. Well, that didn't really move the needle either. It really didn't. And you're looking at this, and this is nothing short of a fall from grace. It really is, because Ron DeSantis, he announces his run, and he spends tens of millions of dollars, if not far more than that, and all of his resources, his ground game, you name it, in the state of Iowa, where Donald Trump will come by eventually. He'll come by for the football game. He'll come by for a visit. Whatever. It doesn't matter, because Donald Trump has gained since then, and Ron DeSantis has lost ground since then overall. So it's all for nothing. This is a $200 million sinking ship. I called it from the beginning, and it looks like I was right. And there was no reason why anybody really should have ran. Donald Trump was going to get the nomination. He has the record he can compare and contrast with Joe Biden. I don't understand why DeSantis listened to these delusional advisors that were egging him on to do this, because all it's really done has divided the party, but not even that much, because most people in the real world are going to get behind Donald Trump when it's all said and done. And it's like there was no demand for this guy to run in the first place. The only people that you could say his coalition could be consisted of were neocons, people that fall for the false song of electability, which again, looking at all of the polling data we've seen from right-leaning polls, left-leaning polls, regardless, it shows Donald Trump is the more electable candidate right now. You could say, well, the people upset at Trump over COVID, which is nearly 4 years ago, and that kind of loses steam over time. But either way, it's not like Donald Trump was this lockdown guy. That was never his brand. If anything, people were mad, even a lot of these establishment Republicans back then, because he didn't listen to the science enough or lock down enough. And DeSantis, his record is more of a brand than anything. I mean, the same guy bragged back in 2021 about touting the vaccine 1,600 times. I mean, it's just a narrative that just collapses on itself. And people may say age is a factor, or people want to move on from Trump. Some people may fall into that category. But still, when they look at these clowns on that debate stage in the JV squad, what do they exactly see? They see a party that is broken, that has no direction, and they want to crawl back on their hands and knees and support Donald Trump. And that's what they're doing, and that's why you see Trump surging in the polls. These debates are making him unpalatable. He has a lack of charisma. He's just very off-putting. Even if people agree with what he has to say, they may agree with the substance, his half-baked Trump talking points, still doesn't exactly matter. And you're seeing it right here, because that's why he's falling. And nothing has really moved the needle that we've been told would move the needle. The announcement bump became an announcement slump. There were no debate bumps. There were no Trump got indicted bumps for anybody except maybe Donald Trump himself. And it's just like, yeah, it's over. And DeSantis probably would have been a lot more better off if he was going to run by trying the Biden basement strategy and really not having these insufferable influencers run his campaign, maybe find less insufferable influencers. But still, it doesn't matter, because that reality just doesn't exist. But I just can't get over how you spend all these resources and then you continue to lose ground to Trump, who I'm not saying he's not going to try. Trump has spent some money on Iowa. I think he should. I don't think he should leave stones unturned. I think he needs to come out and make a statement win. But still, either way, the fact that DeSantis and all these other people have spent all this time, money, energy, and resources for what? To combine for a second place finish, for Donald Trump to still get a majority of the vote in Iowa, which is not a state he won during the 2016 caucuses. If this was a primary state and not a caucus state, I think Trump would probably be winning by a lot more than he's winning right now, because caucuses are a little bit different. And because it's the first primary state, this is where all the also-ran candidates are putting their time and energy in. And it's not working whatsoever for them in any way. Like I said, this is the most accurate pollster in Iowa history. It may be the most accurate pollster in the entire country overall compared to all these polls in all these other states. But for Iowa, yes, this is the gold standard. And then you have people like Steve D, some of these just big DeSantis fanboys. They're going on, they're saying this is something's wrong here. You know, this poll is showing that we need to have a blunt conversation about the state of things, going on to say how he's going to want to unite the party at the end of the day anyways. So even then, you're seeing people bend the knee, cave. It starts with denial. And then they see what's going to happen. You're going to have a lot of people next month in the anger phase because they can't be in denial. I mean, a lot of them are kind of in between the two. They vacillate between denial and anger. Some may resort to bargaining. Some people might just leave. They'll deactivate Twitter, or they'll just like scrub their tweets and start supporting Trump or whatever. But the acceptance phase, in one way or another, is going to come. And we are better off uniting the party in January, where Trump comes out, makes a statement win. So you have what, like 9 months or so, 10 months even, before you can get everybody on board. Then if we have this primary and it's drawn out until June. But either way, it's like a statement win for Trump. If he wins Iowa by 10, let alone 30, I mean, he gets momentum because a win is a win in the eyes of a lot of people, even if DeSantis overperforms. An overperformance is not going to be enough. Trump would like have to almost lose for this to move the needle. And then he's polling better in New Hampshire. If he wins Iowa by 30, he's probably going to win New Hampshire by more than that. He's probably going to win South Carolina by close to 40. He's going to embarrass Nikki Haley in her home state. And then he's going to go to Nevada and Michigan and win by like 50 if people are even still in the race at that point. And Super Tuesday is going to come around. He's going to wipe the floor on Super Tuesday with literally everybody. But I mean, I think that they would probably have to be a little bit insane if they were still in the race at that point, which they may be. I know Chris Christie probably is going to stick around because he just has a ridiculously inflated ego and he's just mad that Donald Trump did not give him a job during his first administration, because that's all what his rage fits on the debate stage are really all about, even if he claims to be a never Trumper now. It wasn't always that way, Chris. I remember 2016. I'm old enough. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.